Okay, real question. If someone texts you, someone you like, and they say, I was thinking of you today, how does that feel?
Good. Nice. Warm.
Right. Now, what if they text you, I was thinking about you today?
Oh, that's different.
It is different, right?
That's more, that's heavier. Like they've been sitting there dwelling on you.
Exactly. Two words of, about, and the whole emotional weight of a message shifts. That is what we're getting into today.
And if you've ever sent one when you meant the other, honestly, we've all been there.
We have. Welcome back to Vicky's English podcast. Real English, real conversations, real confidence. I'm Vicky.
And I'm Jeffrey. Basically, we do the talking, you pick up the English. It's a good deal.
Before we start, everyone, please remember to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, click the like button, and please share our podcast with your friends and family. It helps us a lot.
It really does. Okay, let's get into it.
Today, we are diving into two tiny words that cause enormous confusion for English learners everywhere.
Think of and think about. They look almost identical, they sound almost identical, and yet native speakers feel the difference immediately, even if they can't explain why.
Which, honestly, is both impressive and incredibly annoying if you're trying to learn English.
It really is. But by the end of this episode, you're going to feel it too. Not just know the rule, feel it.
So let's start with the honest question. Is there actually a rule here, or is this one of those things where native speakers just know?
Both. There is a pattern, and once you see it, it makes sense. But you're right that most native speakers have never consciously learned it. They just absorbed it over years of hearing it used correctly.
Which is basically how I teach everything, by the way. Absorption over explanation.
And which is basically the opposite of how I teach everything.
See? This is why we work well together.
Disaster and a plan. Okay, so here's the core idea. And I want to say this clearly for everyone listening. Think of tends to be quick, spontaneous, a flash, a mental image that appears suddenly. Think about tends to be longer, deeper, more deliberate, like you're turning something over in your mind, examining it from different angles.
So think of is like a spark.
Yes, exactly.
And think about is more like a slow burn?
That's actually a perfect way to put it. Spark versus slow burn. I want everyone to hold on to that image for the whole episode because it's going to keep coming up.
I have my moments.
You do. Okay, let's go deeper. Let's make this real and physical. Jeffrey, think of a color.
Red.
Fast, right? You didn't sit there and consider your options. It just came to you.
It just came to me, yeah, immediately.
That's think of energy. Think of a number. Think of a word that means happy. Think of someone you admire. In all of those cases, you're reaching into your brain and pulling something out quickly. It's about retrieval. Fast. Instinctive.
Instinctive. I like that word for it. Done without consciously deciding, like a reflex?
Exactly. And notice I used instinctive deliberately there. That's one of our vocabulary words today. Something instinctive happens automatically without you stopping to think it through.
Right. And I actually use this in class. When I want students to give me a fast example, I say, think of a situation where you'd use this, not think about a situation. Because think about tells your brain to slow down and analyze. I just want them to grab something.
Yes, and that distinction matters even as a teacher giving instructions. Think of moves the class forward. Think about invites reflection. Both are useful, but in different moments.
Huh. I've never actually consciously thought about why I say one versus the other. I just do it.
Which is exactly what we want our listeners to eventually get to. That automatic, instinctive choice.
Okay, flip it. Think about. Give me a situation where it's clearly the right one.
I need to think about this job offer. I've been thinking about moving to a new city. She's thinking about going back to school.
Yeah, in all of those, you're not just grabbing an answer. You're living with something, weighing it up.
Weighing it up. Brilliant phrase. Very natural.
Thank you. I'll keep it.
But yes, to weigh something up means to consider all the sides, the pros and cons, before making a decision. And think about fits perfectly there, because the process is ongoing. You're not done yet. You're still inside it.
Whereas think of would be weird there. I need to think of this job offer? And that sounds like you're trying to remember it exists. Like you forgot there was a job offer.
Right. Oh, yes, the job offer. It's coming back to me now. Completely different meaning.
So the verb signals what kind of thinking is happening.
Perfectly put. The verb signals what kind of thinking is happening. Now, let's talk about where it gets emotional, because this is where learners really need to pay attention, and it connects directly to our hook.
The text messages.
The text messages. I was thinking of you versus I was thinking about you. Let's really unpack this now. I was thinking of you? You crossed my mind. It's warm, it's sweet. Maybe I saw something that reminded me of you, a song came on, I walked past a cafe we used to go to. You appeared, briefly, pleasantly, and then the moment passed.
Fleeting.
Exactly. And that's another vocabulary word, fleeting. Something fleeting lasts only a very short time. A fleeting thought, a fleeting moment, a fleeting glance across a room.
Nice word. Very visual.
I was thinking about you, on the other hand. That's sustained. That's deliberate. There's another vocab word, deliberate. Done on purpose, with real intention. I was thinking about you means I was actively, consciously spending mental energy on you, turning you over in my mind.
Which is either very romantic or, depending on the context, slightly alarming.
Entirely context dependent, yes.
I had a student, lovely woman, very strong English, who sent a message to a colleague she barely knew saying, "I've been thinking about you all week." She meant it as a friendly check-in. She'd seen something on the news about his hometown and wanted him to know she'd noticed.
Oh no.
The colleague was very flattered, very confused, wasn't sure how to respond.
Because I've been thinking about you all week in English, especially to someone you don't know well, is an intense statement.
She meant, you crossed my mind a few times because of what was in the news, which is pure think of territory. I thought of you when I saw the news from your city. Completely innocent, completely clear.
And that one small word, of, instead of about, would have completely changed how that message landed. No confusion, no awkward response.
She laughs about it now. Took a while, though.
The good news for our listeners, you now know exactly why that happened, and you won't make the same mistake. Okay, I want to bring in one more pattern because it trips learners up constantly in conversation. What do you think of versus what do you think about?
Oh, this is a good one. Because people ask these questions all the time and don't realize they're slightly different.
What do you think of the new restaurant versus what do you think about the state of education today?
Yeah, those feel different. The first one I can answer in 2 seconds. The second one, I need a moment.
Exactly. What do you think of is asking for a quick reaction, your first impression, your gut. It implies, and there's another vocab word, imply, to suggest something without stating it directly. It implies that a short answer is perfectly fine.
Whereas what do you think about is opening a conversation. It's an invitation to go deeper.
Right. And this is practically useful for learners in two ways. First, choose the right question for what you actually want. If you want a quick opinion, say, think of. If you want a real discussion, say, think about. Second, when someone asks you, what do you think of X, you don't need to give a long, elaborate answer. A quick reaction is what they're after.
Although, I'll push back slightly here.
Here we go.
I think in casual British English, and honestly in a lot of casual conversation generally, people use them interchangeably quite a bit. Nobody stops mid-conversation to go, wait, did you want my gut reaction or my considered opinion?
I don't disagree there's overlap. There absolutely is. And interchangeable is actually one of our vocabulary words today, meaning you can use one in place of the other. But the nuance is real, Jeffrey. Even when people don't consciously follow the distinction, they feel it when something's wrong.
So you're saying the rule exists even when people break it?
I'm saying native speakers have an instinct built from years of hearing it used correctly. And learners can build that same instinct, but they need to know what they're listening for first.
All right, fair point. I'll concede that one.
Thank you. Marking the date. Okay, real scenarios. Jeffrey, you're going to be a learner.
I hate this. Fine.
Job interview. The interviewer says, can you... a time when you had to solve a difficult problem at work?
Think of?
Yes, because they want a specific memory, retrieved fast. Think of a time. Now, same interview. Have you had time to... how your experience fits our company's direction?
Think about?
Perfect. They're asking whether you've reflected, done research, considered it over time. That's slow burn territory.
And I think the interviewer would actually notice the difference. Have you had time to think of how your experience fits? Sounds odd. Like you're trying to remember if your experience exists.
Exactly. Now, let's do a completely different scenario, because life isn't only job interviews.
Thank goodness.
You're talking to a friend who's going through something difficult, a breakup, a tough decision. They say, I just don't know what to do. I keep all the things I could have done differently.
Thinking about. Definitely thinking about.
Yes, because they're dwelling, ruminating, going over it repeatedly in their mind. That's sustained, deep, ongoing thinking. Classic think about.
I keep thinking of all the things I could have done differently. That would sound like the memories are just popping up randomly, like flashcards.
Which might actually be a different kind of painful experience, but it's not what they mean.
Right. And then flip it. The same friend says, can you... one thing I could do this week to feel better?
Oh, nice. Think of. Because now you're asking them to retrieve a single practical idea. Quick, specific, that's think of.
So in one conversation with one friend, you might use both naturally. I keep thinking about it. Then, can you think of something that might help?
And a native speaker would shift between them without even noticing. That's the goal, to get our listeners to that same natural, automatic place.
Right. And the more you listen for it in English, in films, in podcasts, and conversations, the faster that instinct builds.
Exactly. Listening is absorbing, and absorbing is learning. Okay, let's land the plane.
Finally, she uses my expression.
Jeffrey, sum it up.
Think of is the spark. Think about is the slow burn. Think of reaches in and grabs something fast. Think about sits with something and turns it over slowly.
That's it. That's the whole episode in 2 sentences. And for everyone listening, here's my challenge to you before the next episode. Find one moment this week where you use one of these phrases in real life. in a message, in a conversation, out loud to yourself. Doesn't matter. Just use it once, consciously, with intention.
And if you're not sure which one to use, drop your sentence in the comments. We read them. We genuinely love those.
We do. And if this episode helped you even a little, send it to one person who's learning English. That is the best thing you can do for this podcast and for them. Thanks for being here. Keep practicing. We'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe if you haven't. New episodes every week, and they only get better from here. Until then.